Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is SFR. It's time for pre-season testing here in USA, Texas. My name is Jamie, or Indigo, and it's been a pleasure to be back after a 2-3 week break since last season. Hope you all had a good Christmas and a happy New Year as well. But it's time for more racing, and hopefully we can kickstart things where we left off back in Abu Dhabi last season, all the way here for pre-season testing USA. What a track, USA, as it provided some fantastic entertainment in its past history. This track, I think it's been formed since 2012, I think, the first race around here. And I think it was Lewis Hamilton who took the victory in 2012, surpassed Sebastian Vettel down at turn 11. Then 1 year later, it was Sebastian Vettel himself who won around here, quoting the famous words, saying, "We've got to remember these days. We've got to remember these days because they don't last." And indeed, they don't last. It goes on. It's been 11 years since that race in USA, and we are back once again there. So let's see some on-track action from all the drivers. Keith, former Division 2 champion himself, Season 15's Division 2 champion, is on the circuit in the RB. Did relatively well against his teammate Adams. Adams was, of course, in the McLaren alongside Keith. He had a strong start to the season, did the RB of Keith, but unfortunately, during the mid part of it, he started to slip backwards, but that's because he switched from full to medium traction control. So I think he was just adjusted to those setups there. But has Keith finally got that under control? Can he be the one to challenge for the championship? Because on his day, he could be spectacular to watch. So do watch out for him when the season starts for season 17. I wish we could skip the preseason testing and get straight to it, but we have preseason tests for a reason, to determine what division people are going to go into, and that's going to be interesting to watch indeed with all these drivers. 15 drivers in this lobby then, so not a full house, but anyways, we'll go on board with Keith, seeing as he's the first one out in the RB, and we've also got many drivers here as well that's already been in Division 2. Melnus, a returning driver in Division 2 in the Kick Sauber, a driver who usually shows some good results, does Melnus, and he's regularly finished inside the top 10 as well. I believe he was in Division 1 last season, was Melnus, because I remember saying in every single race that he consistently scored points. Other than that race in Imola, when he spun the car around, I remember that race as well. He spun a Piratella at the top of turn 10. So back on board with Keith. For some reason, my controller has switched over to a different driver. Climbing up towards turn 1, then uphill, off camber corner. He did tag the apex a bit there on the inside. You want to take a late apex through there to get straight to the car and get back on the throttle before we make our way towards Maggott and Beckett's S corners like Silverstone, as we make our way now towards these swooping fast corners. As we flick it in towards the left-hand side of turn 7, turn 8 and turn 9, climbing up towards turn 9, where we saw Sebastian Vettel break his suspension back in 2019, and it cost him the victory. Well, it didn't cost him the victory because the car wasn't quick enough, but it cost him good points indeed as we make our way down towards turn 10. Keith stamps on the power once again. It's an important one, turn 10, because it leads on the back straight where DRS is enabled, and this is where we'll see the most overtakes happening at this particular part of the track. Now heavy braking inside turn 12, as you want to take a lot of curb on the inside. You can get away cutting that corner as long as you don't do it too much or exploit it too much. 2.5 in the middle sector there for Keith as he stamps on the loud pedal once again before we make our way diving into turn 15 we go. That's left-hander before we get back on the throttle. A bit of movement from the car as MCFC was the first one to cross the line. 33.7, so apologies towards MCFC there. Before we make our way towards turn 19 and turn 20, you got to watch out for track limits on the exit of the corner. It can catch a lot of people out indeed as Keith makes his way towards the checkered flag now. It's a 33.3 and he's 4/10 quicker than MCFC in P2 as he slows down on the main straight there. So MDJ goes quickest out with a blistering lap time of 31.8, so already puts a marker down there for everybody to try and beat. And I wonder, can anybody else out of the circuit beat that lap time? We've still got more people as Joachim has a big moment in the first sector there. The back of the car just complaining and wandered away from him as he tries to get the throttle, but the car wouldn't accept it and he'll have to back out that lap time again, unfortunately. But he should have enough fuel to do another lap on them SSR compound tyres. Considering the first sector, you don't really take a lot of time out because And here we are then for Klusler, top of the hill. Klusler had a very strong season. Only scored one podium yesterday, as Tiger says, yo. Hello to you too, mate. Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Klusler now exits turn 9. But I'm very interested in Klusler because he had a very strong season. He finished P5 behind his teammate Alex Copo. And he was only 1 point away from his own teammate as well. Both Red Bulls last season were about 22 points away from Adams, who picked up 2 wins and 8 podiums, whereas Alex Copo picked up no wins, 3 podiums. The consistency that Red Bull had last season, is it too late to join? I'm in your Discord server. What's your PSN, mate? By the way, you're going to have to add me through EA because I've got crossplay on, so it might not work out. I believe you're Ginger Tiger, if I'm going to take a guess. As here comes Klusler now towards turn 19 and turn 20. Burmeister goes up into P2. It's a Dutch 1-2 as Klusler comes towards the line. It's P6 with a 33.6 there for the Aston Martin driver. Now, on board with the new SF4 Div 2 champion. His name is Owen Mansell, and what a finale that was in the final race of the season. Breathtaking stuff indeed from both Burmeister, Mansell, Mindful Wasp and Oliver. The excitement that was going through the race, the tension to go through the race as well. My heart was pounding considering I'm sat in the commentator box, but it definitely showed us some fantastic action. And I really want to see it repeat like this again because the drivers handle it so professionally. They did a fantastic job of maintaining their cool composure, not pushing each other off the track, not forcing each other off wide to get themselves a penalty, as Mansell does invalidate there at turn number 11, I believe it is. But I know Mansell himself did not have a good race around here in USA. I'll put it in the chat right now for you, mate. So Lord Brad the Top G goes into P2, and he is 1/10 away from MDJ, who's currently sat on provisional pole. 8 minutes have already gone in this qualified session, and this qualified session is flown by. Meldus now goes up into P3 with a 32.4 for the Sauber driver as he heads down towards turn 1. And as you can hear, my voice is going. That's because I'm ill again. So you know me, when it comes to winter, I usually get ill. And what do I do to prevent that? Nothing. So I need to get back to myself again. But Mansell, both McLarens haven't set a lap time just yet. And Ginger Tiger, unfortunately, I cannot add you because I can't, as you can see, I can't add you, mate. I don't know if you already got me as a friend, mate, but look at this. Loads of people on my friends list. So you have to send me a friend request. I'll accept it. Am I annoying Mansell by doing this? But anyways, here we are. Mansell, I think I annoyed him a bit because he's actually on a lap time. No, he's not, but he heads down towards turn number 10 now. So majority of drivers then in the pit lane ready to do their second runs once they find a bit of time and space on the circuit. Mindful Wasp is out there, but he's not on a flying lap. We're going on board with Energy Dan. Energy Dan, I don't think he picked up a podium this season. Here comes Energy Dan now towards the line. It's P8 with a 33.6, but Energy Dan finished in P6 in the Drivers' Championship. And if you look at the results he's had so far, look at the guys behind him. The guys behind have had multiple wins and multiple podiums. Yes, I am Indigo_03, mate. That's me. But Energy Dan has not picked up a win or a podium. The guys behind have. And Energy Dan's level of consistency so far last season has been phenomenal. And guess who has joined this session? Wow. The excitement has gone in now, unfortunately. Now joking, Hazara. But please start at the back. Fearful Spider, I have added you, so I'll get you in the server prematurely as quick as I can so you can take part in qualifying. Just bear with me because sometimes this can be an absolute headache to deal with. So apologies about missing any action, but it's better to do it now in qualifying than in the race. So let me just find you real quick. Apologies about all this, ladies and gentlemen. So there you are. Oops. There we go. Send you an invite real quick. So MDJ still remains on top of the time machines. Marinus looks like he's spun out of turn 10. Going very slowly. He has used a bit of ERS. Looks like he's going for a second lap. He's on a 2-lap old set of soft core power tyres, so he's still circulating on older tyres. So that doesn't really matter for him. There's plenty of times we left in the session, and also the track Evolution as well will kick in. Lord Danny Boy is also out there. Lord Danny Boy as well came from Division 1. So Danny Boy is here, and it's nice to see him here. So let's see will Danny Boy get placed in Division 1 or 2? I know both Alpines were struggling last season, Langfell and Danny Boy from Division 1. So maybe in Division 2 they can find their feet a bit, be more comfortable and pick up the pace and see what they could do, because I know those two have their days where they can be really good, but at the same time the results haven't gone their way so far. The invite didn't work for some reason. Did it not come through? Just restart your game, mate. I'll send you another invite just in case. By the way, Tiger, you're Ginger Tiger, are you? Are you Ginger Tiger? Please confirm your PSN. Maybe I could do this another way. Maybe I can add you to the Div 2 chat, not the Div 2 chat, the pre-season chat for tonight's race. So tell me your PSN name real quick, and I'll add you through. So MDJ still remains on pole. I believe he's on a lap out of turn number 10 as we go on board with Danny Boy. Into the final corner he goes, and let's see what lap time Danny Boy can produce. It's going to be P3 for him. He slots in behind Top G, as let's see what MDJ is doing on his current lap time as we head on board with the Williams driver. He's currently 1/10 up in the first sector with the DRS wide open on this back straight. Before we slam the DRS short, heavy on the brakes, downshifted through the gears, into second gear he goes, hits the apex very nicely through there. I think somebody else has just moved the order too. I think it's Burmeister who's just popped himself into P4. MDJ once again purple in the middle sector, but didn't quite see what he did in the middle sector as he's swooping through turn 15, and that's so close to invalidation there. I'm surprised he didn't invalidate his lap time as he makes his way now towards the triple right-handers, and what a variation of corners they are as well. Triple right-handers where the left front tyre really feels the effects as we head towards turn 19 and turn 20. Look at him using all of the road as DRS enabled. MDJ goes towards first place at 31.4, and he extends and raises the bar once again. So last night Nordis did a 31.0 in qualifying. Xenom, Emils and Atlas Kofov did a 32.0. Wow. So that means that Nordis was quickest in the pace test yesterday. Didn't quite see how it was because I don't think it was streamed. Here's Owen Manso going for another flying lap time. Hopefully Manso and me will be partnered back in the commentary box again. Turn 11 we go. Let's see. You could probably invite me through or PS, invite if you're on PS. What is your PSN, by the way? You need to tell me your PSN, mate. Because I can add you to the group chat and invite you to that. What is your PSN, by the way, Tiger Buka? So 2.2, Manso does not have a representative lap time. Hence why he hasn't got a delta or a reference. So finally, looks like Manso is hooking things up as we exit turn 16. And now we dive towards the triple right-handers, fully throttle and used a bit of overtake as well. I do love this track. It's one of the best tracks since Indianapolis. As we make our way now towards the final two corners we go. I'm not really a big fan of Las Vegas. Maybe Las Vegas can be decent sometimes, but Miami is terrible. Here he is. Manso goes up into P6 and just slots in there behind Melnus and in front of UK Kosh. We didn't really see much of Kosh in Division 2 last season. Did take part, but only for one race, and as I recall, he retired from the Bahrain Grand Prix. Maybe got shuffled into Division 3, but the Indian driver is back. Here comes Adams now. Adams is not on a lap time. I think he made a mistake somewhere on the course of lap time. Klusler is also not on a flying lap. He's 4 seconds down in the first sector. Two drivers yet set lap time. One of them is Yarham, who really picked up his form last season, didn't he? And he went on a winning streak. I think he had 3 wins last season after spinning out every time he qualified high on the grid. Yarham, a returning driver as well. Not the first time he's been in SFR last season. He has been plenty of times. But he lost his feet a bit, lost his love for the game, and things went terribly for him until something ignited and he's managed to try and gain his momentum and rhythm back. So it's nice to see because Yarham was ready to quit at any given stage. But he kept going, he kept practicing, and look what the practice has done. It put him up the order, put him further up the pecking order, made him faster, made him quicker, and hopefully he can show he could do in Division 2. Do you know what? If all these drivers that are so quick in qualifying can sort out their racecraft, if only they could sort out their racecraft without spinning every time. Zenum, sorry Zenum, you know I love you really, but if Zenum and Yarham and other people who are so quick in quality but struggle in the race pace simulation, they could be really challenging for the title, and I can see it too. Here comes Yarham around the final corner. Let's ride on board with a lap time with Yarham then. DRS enabled then as we make our way the climb towards turn 1, uphill heavy braking zone. And with the width of the corner being so wide, he can go 3 abreast up there. We've seen it plenty of times as well in the past. We've seen it with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen this season, or last season, when they went together in turn 1. Charles Leclerc slipped on the inside, took the lead of the Grand Prix, and it was a Ferrari 1-2. 25.1 for Yarham in the first sector, as he nicely negotiates his way around, threading the needle through the first sector, climbing on the top of the hill as we head downhill towards turn 11. A very pivotal braking zone too, because you want to get the power as quickly as you can, braking traction, making sure you get the best exit as you possibly can, as the guys behind you, or if you're attacking ahead of you, will have the DRS and try and overtake you, or if you're pursuing, you've got to overtake them. Very important in that corner to get a good exit. Now, going down towards turn 12, another heavy braking zone, locks up heavily on the entry, but that shouldn't affect him too much as we head towards the end of the middle sector at 1.6 in the middle sector. Junior Tiger, have you not sent me your PSN yet? You need to put your PSN name in the chat for me to invite you. Right, let me see if this works. So when Yarham crosses the line, I'm going to add you to the group chat because I don't want to spoil his moments. So at turn 19 and turn 20, deployment's been used, so you can really tell he's been using that battery. Here comes Yarham now towards the line, going to be a 31.9, goes up to P3 as Mindful Wasp has left the session. There's a Sauber who's parked up at the exit of turn 3. It's Hazara, so Hazara's came out of the circuit to retire, which is quite strange. Other people on their flying laps then, as we go on board with Keith in the RB. I don't think his DRS is open, so he's not coming in a lap time, but let me invite you to the chat. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to add somebody to group chat, which I should do. Qualifying has been commenced, so qualifying is done and dusted. These are the drivers' last attempts as Top G, MDJ are coming to the first sector. Yarham has ended his lap time. Melnus goes up into P2 with a 31.5, a stellar performance there from the Sauber driver, and he's currently on the front row. Let's see if he stays there. Owen Mansell up into P8 in the McLaren. Cassidy goes up into P7, the former Sauber driver himself, currently in P7. And we've got Burmeister, who's a 10th up in the first sector, is the Ferrari driver. Let's see if he can continue his progress as we head down towards turn number 11. Remember last season that Burmeister had a lot of help from his teammate Oliver, because he kept Mansell at bay, didn't he? And it was Williams 2 and 3. And Burmeister having Oliver as a teammate really helped him in the Drivers' Championship, but wasn't enough. Here we are now towards the triple right-hander we go. Lord Daddy Boy is dreaming about being partners with Alex Copo this season. We'll see that happens between Lord Daddy Boy and Alex Copo as Burmeister makes his way towards the final corner. Lord Daddy Boy goes up into P4 in the Alpine. Here goes Burmeister in the Ferrari, goes up into P6 or stays in P6. Last two is MDJ, who's invalidated his last time, and here comes Top G, invalidates 2. So those 2 lap times have been invalidated, unfortunately, and they can't improve their lap time, so they stay where they are. But it's MDJ who is on pole for the pre-season race here in USA. So we're having pre-season races on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Did I say that right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah, I thought I got the days mixed up. So But we have pre-season running along from Monday to Thursday. I can commentate for two of them, of course, Tuesday and Wednesday, as it's been my league to commentate, Div 2 and Div 1. I have been proud to be the voice of SFR, your league commentator, taking you through Division 2 and Division 1. Unfortunately, I can't do Division 3 and 4, because I am not available those days, unfortunately, but I'd love to do so. Be literally become the voice of SFR, but that'll be a lot of work on my hands to memorise about 60 drivers, plus reserves as well. It's been an absolute pleasure since season 14 when I joined back at the Monaco Grand Prix to commentate alongside Dan to watch all of these drivers go at it. Hammer and Tong, MDJ, Laser Lord, and Harry Kane was the one challenger of the championship in Division 1 when I rejoined back. Then I became a Division 2 driver. No, I didn't. Tell a lie. I became a Division 2 commentator. And hello, Prepared Jebson. How are you doing, mate? Nice to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're alright. Don't think Danny Boy is fast enough to team up with Atlas Copo. You'd hope so, because Danny Boy was a Division 1 driver last season, so you'd be hoping he'd be quicker or the same pace as Atlas Copo. But yes, I returned back to SFR after spending 4 or 5 years away. I was a driver here once, all those years ago, scored 1 podium at the Silverstone Grand Prix. Then returned back in 2023 after Laser remembered who I am, gave me an invite back to the session or season. And ever since then, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I cannot wait to see how things turn out. Hopefully your usual co-commentator, Owen Simo, sorry, I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully your usual commentator, Simo, can join me in the future. She's supposed to be my Division 2 co-commentator, but I have no idea what are the plans she got up to tonight. But maybe she didn't know about it. It is my fault for not messaging her either, so that is my bad. I really hope that you guys had a very good Christmas and a happy New Year. I had a decent Christmas, definitely had a good New Year. And the formation lap will begin very shortly, and we'll see what tyre compounds are being used in this Grand Prix. It is medium hards, but the top two have gone for the hard compound tyres. My preferred choice, judging by experience as well, I went from 18th to 2nd in one of my league races. That was a few weeks ago, or a month ago or two. I started on the medium compound tyre, and I did my usual mediums to hards, and I went from 18th to 2nd without any safety cars. So mediums to hards is a better strategy in my opinion. It all depends though. If a safety car comes out at the right time and the right place for the drivers on whatever tyres they are, the safety car can really change the trajectory of the races. You don't really see much safety cars here in Texas either, because the runoffs are quite high. The runoffs are quite, lots of runoff areas for drivers to prevent crashing. Is there an admin? Is there an admin for the league in this chat? I'm not sure. Admin, if you're in the chat, pop up, because somebody wants your attention. I'm just a commentator. But you know what? Even though it is pre-season race, I'm going to treat this like an actual race, because, passionate about it, and I don't want to talk through about just random general stuff. I just want to talk us through like it's an actual race. So I'm going to treat this race as an actual race, and I can't wait to see how it kickstarts. But starting hards to mediums, even though the hard compound tyres could go for a really long stint, going from hards to mediums, when you put on the medium compound tyre, it is very difficult to catch up, and the tyre wear as well is not that great on the mediums. So we'll see then how the hard play out. But MDJ is in this party, for those guys who didn't know, so he'll be listening to me say that, not with the confidence he needs going into this race, but we'll see if his strategy pays dividends for his and Magnus's race, and the guys who start on the hard compound tyres. No softs, of course, that is a qualified tyre, and they'll die in about 3 or 4 laps, so nobody's going for the soft compound tyres. So all 16 drivers then are lining up on the grid, and we'll see what happens going up towards turn 1. Will Melners claim the inside line? Kimi Räikkönen got up the inside of Lewis Hamilton back in 2018, when Kimi Räikkönen secured his last win in the Formula 1 in the Ferrari. Remember 2015 when Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton went side by side? It was wet conditions. Hamilton shoved Rosberg off the track. Verstappen went up the inside of Hamilton in 2021. In turn 1, here are the lights then. The pre-season race is about to get away very shortly. MDJ pointed left, and now we are underway for the USA Grand Prix. Chop across the front wing there from MDJ towards Melners. Top G's up into second place, and McLaren, who almost out of shape on the start of the grind. As we exit turn 1, then MDJ takes the lead ahead of Top G as Melners has been shuffled into third place there. That McLaren could have been Mansell, who we saw across the track, like Kevin Magnussen in 2014 when he had a poor start, lost traction and slid across the racetrack, but no signs of him hitting the wall or taking anybody else. There's a very lucky escape there. Energy Dan and Keith are swapping places as Energy Dan buses RB up into 11th place, but a relatively clean start so far from every single driver, as here comes Mads up the inside of Cassidy. Oh, there's contact between himself and the Ferrari of Burmeister. I remember Sergio Perez getting taken out by, I think it was Danny Kvyat back in 2017. We got spun round as Mads and Burmeister, the two championship contenders, are going side by side. And here comes Top G. Danny inside, going in towards turn number 11 we go. Mansell and Yarholm, Mansell and Cassidy, scrapping away. And Aston Martin is off the track. A few of drivers are off the track. Cassidy gets a 10-second time penalty as there's contact there between those two. Remember, Sebastian Vettel spun in 2018 when he made contact with Ricciardo. Here comes the RB. That's Energy Dan going to the inside of two of them. Danny inside of turn 11, but not able to make it stick, and he's already lost those two places too. So it's been a hectic first lap. Hazara going from P15 to P10. What a lightning start from the Division 1 driver. Adams is up to P13. And Mansell is 1.2 seconds away. So I'm not quite sure what happened to Mansell, but Top G is right at the back of MDJ as we head down towards turn 1. Top G trying to go around the outside. Can he make it around the outside? He will. Gets a better exit on the mini compound tyres. Goes wheel to wheel with the Ferrari driver as Top G is still side by side. MDJ is not giving up. Foot to the floor as MDJ reclaims the lead of the Grand Prix there. And that was pure bravery from both of them to go side by side in turn 3. Could have ended badly, but Top G gave up the place and he would decide to attack the next lap or two when the DRS is enabled as Danny Boy gets past Melners out of turn 9 there. So unusual place. Maybe Melners made a mistake at the top of the hill. Melners goes deep in the corner too, so he might be under pressure from Burmeister out behind. And Mansell, we saw side by side with Burmeister a lap ago, has dropped backwards. Here's the DRS there. Look at that. They're going 3 abreast. And here comes Yarholm. And here comes Top G to pounce at MDJ as we head down towards turn 11. Yarholm takes them both on. And now they're going side by side between the Williams and the Red Bull drivers, still continuing their fight as the Red Bull tries to go on the outside. Can he finally get second place? He can, but he's still side by side with him. Finally gets the move done in turn 13. What's the aggressive stuff there from Yarholm to go from third to first? Top G was looking to go from second to first, but unfortunately now in second place, so he don't really get the move done as he moves up towards second there. DJ knows he's on the hardcore power tyres, of course, so he doesn't really need to push too hard against these guys. These guys' tyres will still be an advantage, so therefore the tyre advantage for him will come later. Yarholm now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Mansell and Hazara are back in DRS range, and Hazara's right at the back of the D2 champion as we head up towards turn 1 now between all these guys. Cassidy has got past Energy Dan. He goes up into P10. A bit of contact there between those two at the top of the hill towards turn 1. The Ferrari in the background goes off the track. That's Mindful Wasp out of turn 1, struggling for grip. But now we watch the main contenders scrap away for P1. Yarholm, Top G and MDJ. Lord Danny Boy is also there in this fight too in P4. Both Aston Martin swapping places. Cassidy is ahead. Look at this train, the second half of this train at the top of turn 9. Yarholm trying to beat the DRS. Look at that, 9/10, but he'll lose that advantage down the straight. When these guys get DRS, down the inside goes the RB of Energy Dan. Finally gets the move done, the side by side, but more importantly, we need to watch the battle between the top four because Danny Boy is right at the back. MDJ throws the defensive move on the inside, keeps him behind. Hazara has got past Manso, goes up into P7, he goes on the hardcore power tie, starts at 16th, and look in the background, that's the Aston Martin and Cassidy defending from Energy Dan, who's defending from Klooster right behind him. Here comes the Mercedes now of, I think that's Adams up the inside of Keith, but Keith has the inside line, and here comes the doors almost shut in his face as Klooster goes back up the inside now of Energy Dan, going wheel to wheel in the triple right hander we go. Let's see which one of these two is going to come out on top. I presume Energy Dan with the inside line. There's more contact between those two. They both go off the circuit, neither driver willing to yield, and here comes his teammate now, Keith, back up the inside. Sorry, I get confused there. They're all in different cars indeed from Division 2 last season, so a bit confusion. Hazara gets past Burmeister. Both go off the track, by the way. Off the track goes Burmeister and Hazara together, and they lost a bit of time too, so what happened between those two? Burmeister is squirming in frustration there, all apologetic, but Manso gets himself a 3-second penalty at the back of this duo here. So they lost the DRS now, Burmeister and Hazara going too deep at turn 1. I'm not quite sure who's to blame. Maybe Burmeister just a bit late on the brakes there, which caused him to go out wide and push Hazara off the track, seeing that Hazara was on the outside line out of turn number 1. But he should get a decent run, should Hazara, with the DRS wide open on Burmeister. Burmeister will be defenseless, he's pushed him all the way to the left, but there's nothing that he can do about it, of course. He has to yield, and he's still frustrated, is the Dutchman of Burmeister. So maybe he feels that Hazara was at fault. But look at this, the two championship contenders from last season, Burmeister versus Owen Mansell. And these two, they go in side by side. Oh, Mansell spun the car! He's half spun the car! But he saves it and gets going once again. A bit too eager on the throttle there. And unfortunately, he's lost himself the DRS against Burmeister. Trying to do the under and over was Burmeister, but didn't Owen Mansell, but didn't make it work. And he's dropped backwards indeed, has Owen. So one McLaren dropping backwards, the other one's leading, as Yarholm under massive pressure from Top G and MDJ behind, still on those hardcore bad tyres. As we head up towards turn 1, that's a dummy move from Top G, forcing Yarholm into a mistake, but Yarholm will not be fazed by that one as he stays behind him once again. This is great action we're seeing from all the top 6. Hazara is behind his teammate Melnus. What a great start from the Norwegian driver again, from P16 to P6 in about 4 or 5 laps. Incredible stuff indeed. Despite being broken at the DRS train earlier, he's got himself back in it. MCFC has picked himself up a 3-second penalty. Then look at this, MDJ right at the back of Top G. He'll probably wait for the DRS down the main straight. Obviously doesn't want to lose too much time squirming away. Michael Wasp picks himself up a 3-second penalty. The Ferrari driver, who is in last place, putting pressure on the Mercedes and MCFC. Here comes Top G. Goes around the outside into turn 11. MDJ switches to the outside line too, as Yarholm has been pushed into P2 there, but he goes a bit deep, does the Red Bull driver, but does not be under pressure afterwards. So Mansell, despite the mistake, has not been able to close in on Burmeister, so he's got to stay behind him. Can he catch up, or will Burmeister have a bit of fresh air? Bearing in mind, Burmeister is on the back of the DRS range of Hazara. Adams is up into P11 ahead of Energy Dan. Now look at this. The second half of the field scrapping away for the minor points paying positions. Both RBs of Dan and Keith close together. 2 admins, of course, in this league. Great drivers indeed. Great. Oh, look at this. MDJ side by side with Yarholm. Here we are then. As we head towards turn 1, MDJ will claim the inside line and take away P2 away from the McLaren driver. But MCFC already in the pit lane, so I wonder, did he sustain any damage? Let's have a look to see what the Haas is up to in the pit lane. Is there a full bit change? Let's have a look at the Haas mechanics. So here we are then, it's the hardcore power tyres already, no signs of a front wing change. Is that strategic, or did he mean to change his wing? I'm not quite sure, but anyways, back towards the leading pair, as they're giving us some great entertainment as we head down towards turn 11 we go. Pre-season testers today, tomorrow, Thursday, 12th season features, 13th div announcement, 16th is the car reveal. Season starts on the 20th of January. There's a Red Bull RB who spun. Look at this now. Here comes MDJ. Here comes Danny Boy. That's two of them. Maybe though, because Top G lays the brakes, outbrakes himself, and here comes the Alpine driver ready to take advantage. But Danny Boy cannot take advantage of that one because Top G has the inside line. Going in towards turn 12, here comes the McLaren driver Johan sneaking up the inside of Danny Boy at turn 15. There they go wheel to wheel on the two McLaren and Alpine drivers, but Danny Boy goes up into P3. He has some massive overspeed, did Lord Danny Boy. Took on Johan and he almost got Top G, but Top G was a bit late to the brakes there and able to stay in second place for the time being. So it's the Harvard of MDJ now in the lead of the Grand Prix, as rightly so. Paul Vickers says, can't say anything with regards to driver placement. Sorry, yeah, we can't really say anything about it because we don't give away any spoilers. And plus, we don't know anything about the driver placements because we've only had one test pace. You'll find out everything. Don't you worry, son. You'll find out everything later on as the days goes by. I would love for the season to start next week if it was up to me. To kickstart things, but in order to make things work, it takes a bit of time and patience. You can't rush into it because that's when everything gets spoiled. But MDJ now is pulling away from Top G. The gap is 9/10, but the gap will go down because Top G will have DRS. Let's have a look to see if we've got DRS at the back of MDJ. I think he has. Yes, he has. So he was still in the detection point on the white line there before turn 10. Here comes Johan again on Lord Danny Boy as he tries to put himself into third place. Danny Boy having DRS himself as he does. Oh, the McLaren driver there almost getting twitchy out of turn 11 there. Lost a bit of time. Danny Boy tapped the back of him, but nothing more than that happened. So look at that. He's really struggling for traction at the exit of those slow speed corners as two Sauber drivers are fighting their way. Hazard is still stuck in 6th place there, so I thought he'd progress further, but climbing the train gets harder and harder. It's like levels, isn't it? When you surpass a level, you've got to face another competitor. As Top G already in this race gets a 3-second penalty, but it's pre-season, so he won't care. As the DRS again. Oh, is that Hazara in the wall? That was so close. Hazara almost dropped it at the exit of the final corner. Hazara now has been demoted into P7, and here we are up the inside. That's a Sauber on Lord Danny Boy. Modus puts himself into P4, and the McLaren gets squirmy out of turn. Well, that's Johan. He's really struggling for grip on those mini compound tyres. Those mediums already sliding around, and they don't look too great, or do they, in the medium compound tyres. The gap is 2 seconds now between himself and Top G, so he's losing a lot of time. You can see that the car is always wants to complain every time he turns the steering wheel. He's got no grip, literally. He's driving around on a 50 pence piece, as Martin Budd would say, as MDJ has broken the DRS. Here comes the Ferrari of the inside of Lord Danny Boy. A neat move there from Burmeister. Oh, is it though? Because there's contact and it's 3 abreast. Massive wheel spin at the exit there. DRS, all 3 of them have DRS as Hazara puts himself into P5, but Burmeister is taking his slipstream, trying to put himself back into 5th place, and he doesn't do so because Hazara throws the defensive shape. These guys are racing so hard. Remember, boys, it's only pre-season testing. You don't have to race so hard. But anyways, these guys having a huge battle for the podium paying positions, and Melnus is capitalising now because people around him are struggling on the medium compound tyres. Remember, the undercut is big around here. Look at Hazara all over the back of Johan. Will he dare send it in turn 19, especially on the outside too? He can't do it. There's no room on the outside, and Johan goes deep, and Johan has contact there almost because he had to adapt because Johan was going to go in the pit lane, wasn't he? So he's been released to chase after his own teammate now. It is Melnus. Melnus versus Hazara, the 2 Norwegian drivers. Burmeister is right behind on the hard compound tyres. The people are suffering on the medium compound tyres, evidently. But Top G has done a great job to stay in DRS range of MDJ. The pendulum has swung around. The offset now belongs towards the hard compound tyre runners. As I think Manso's spun out of turn 1. He has. Manso's gone for a spin. Unusual mistake there from Owen Manso. I think he spun all by himself. He did as well. So pitch was sort of too early there. Maybe got a bit of ring rust after not racing for a couple of weeks. Manso has been stuffing his face, but hopefully he can get back into rhythm once again. as Mindful Wasp. His former teammate picks himself up a 3-second time team, and Maunus and Hazara swap places there. Hazara goes up into P3 ahead of Maunus. And I just saw a funny comment about Owen Mansell from Martin. Martin says, Mansell trying to avoid promotion. Oh, Mansell wants to stay on commentary with me. I know how it is. Who doesn't want to commentate with me these days? Everybody's asking. But anyways, MDJ has broken the DRS range from Top G. The gap is 1.5 seconds now, so he's finally broken the DRS, and now he's got clean air. Can start to use that to try and build as much of a gap as he can before he goes into medium compound tyres, trying to hunt it down later on, because we know that Top G will pit first on the medium compound tyres. He'll go in the hards and he'll try and do the undercut on MDJ, and vice versa too. MDJ will put on the medium compound tyres and try and catch up towards the back of Top G. Hazara though has caught up to him. He's put himself in second place, so MDJ is not breathing free yet, because Hazara is on the way to catch up towards MDJ. The gap is 1.6 seconds. There's another yellow flag down there. Who is that? Let's go for a spin. I can't really tell because people change their positions in the pit lane, so whoever caused that yellow flag caused it briefly. They crashed or spun where Danny Kvyat crashed. Yeah, they crashed or spun where Danny Kvyat crashed in 2015. Remember that race in 2015? It was an underrated race. I dare say 2015 USA was one of the best races. Mixture conditions, both Red Bulls versus both Mercedes. We had a Mercedes battle between Rosberg and Hamilton. And Rosberg, despite leading the Grand Prix, he spun, didn't he, out of turn, or half spun the car. He lost traction, lit up the rear tyres, went off the track, gave the lead back to Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton crossed the line to become a 3-time world champion that year. Then after that race in USA, Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi, Nico Rosberg went on to win 3 races in a row. Then 2016, 4 races in a row, which meant he won 7 consecutive wins. Rosberg was on fire in 2016, and obviously that was his last year in F1 as well, where Valtteri Bottas came in and took his place. But now Valtteri Bottas is out of Formula 1. Bottas and Perez, 2 big names out of Formula 1, with Daniel Ricciardo as well, so that's quite sad. But Johan picks himself up a 3-second tablet. He just pitted, didn't he? As the Williams driver is defending. Here comes Maunus against Top G, puts himself into 3rd place. Lock up there on the inside for Maunus, but his tyres should be better than Top G, so ultimately he should pull away. I'm surprised he hasn't followed his teammates, considering he's on the same tyre combine as him. But we know the difference in pace between those two. Rumour says Hazara is going to win. Rumour says Hazara is going to... Sorry about that. Let me read it again. Rumour says Hazara is going all in to win Div 1 this season. Well, I dare say the only person that can stop him is me. Yes, I've got esports setups. I get advice from esports drivers as well. So if I hop in there, maybe we can have a chance of stopping Hazara. Here he is, then the ETA man is alongside MDJ. Draws alongside as he puts himself into 1st. What a fantastic drive. It's only lap 11. We're not even halfway there yet. From 16th to 1st in 11 laps. I think he went a bit deep out of turn 11 too. Just outbroke himself. But luckily for him, does not pick up a 3-second penalty. Can MDJ stick with him? Cruising with a cocktail. Indeed he is. A Norwegian driver. Ever since he started league racing back in 2017-18, that's when I first met him. He was average to start with, to put it quite frankly. And then he got faster and faster. I'm so shocked at how fast he was, because I remember back then that I was used to be quicker than him. As Top G is finally in the pit lane. There is no media runners in this race no more until the hard runners pit to go on the medium compound tyres. Mansell overtakes Energy Dan for 13th place. Was that a tactical spin there for Mansell at turn 1, I wonder, to avoid the promotion? I'm only joking, by the way, Mansell. Please don't come at me. Everything I say is all jokes. I don't mean anything by it. But maybe the guys in the comment section are joking, so try and convince them, not me. Cassidy's retired in the pit lane. So he is out of the Grand Prix. And he's just playing retired. Maybe that 10-second penalty really pissed him off. And therefore he didn't want to continue. But anyways, back towards the top 2. Can MDJ stick? Oh, Hazara, big mistake there. A very big mistake in front of MDJ. Just lost the car. Just locked the rears up and couldn't get the car going in time. Now MDJ is all at the back of Hazara as we head down towards turn 11 we go. And MDJ sticks behind. Look at the steering wheel on that Williams driver. Harvested a lot of EOS is MDJ, ready to pass through later on in the Grand Prix as well. Back towards Yarham, the highest new. What am I saying? Even what am I even saying? There we are, the highest new tyre runner. There we go. Finally got the words out. Puts himself into 6th place ahead of Karsh, and now Top G will fancy a piece of the action. Do you know what? Despite a 3-lap difference, Yarham had 3 laps to try and build a gap over Top G, but the undercut's not been huge around here. It's supposed to be big, the undercut. I wonder, did Yarham make a mistake? Because we did see a McLaren go off the circuit at one point as well. Here goes Mansell on the outside of MCFC, puts himself into 11th place. Mansell has just came out of the pit lane, and on a bonus set of hardcore powered tyres, chasing after Mindful Wasp and Lord Danny Boyd, 2 former teammates. And look at this, in the background goes Mindful Wasp to pit for a brand new set of medium powered tyres. That's quite early. Oh, he's hit the pit lane entry. He's missed it, but he gets going once again. So, Mindful Wasp. That's not the first time, and that's not the last time. I've seen that happen before, plenty of times. I really hope he hasn't sustained any damage. He hasn't, so luckily for him, he gets going with a full nose cone. Burmeister, however, has caught up to Monus. Here he is, the Dutchman who was fighting with Hazara and Mansell early on in this Grand Prix, has caught up to 3rd place. And MDJ is dropping away from the DRS range of Hazara, so Hazara, they're trying to break out the DRS range. You know how good he is at that. As MDJ gained 4/10 on that straight, the power of the DRS, maybe used a bit of battery too, to edge himself forward towards Hazara. We're almost halfway there in this Grand Prix. It's been a decent race so far, maybe quieted down a bit, but it'll get spicy once again once everybody else make their pit stop to go on the medium compound tyres, and we'll see how this race transforms. I said the hards to mediums weren't really a good strategy. Let's prove me wrong and see that happens, because I always love the mediums to hards, not the hards to mediums, because the medium compound tyres, when they go, there's no recovering. You generate so much tyre temperature every time you slide around on the medium compound tyres, you just cannot scrub it away. There's nothing you can do to manage it. I remember years ago on the F1 game in USA, by the way, we're halfway there in this Grand Prix, but I remember in 2021 that, or maybe 2020, maybe whenever it was, that the soft compound tyres, you just could not control the tyre temperature. You put it on minimal tyre temperatures, and the tyres just overheat so badly. It was unbelievable. You just could not cool the tyres down whatsoever, no matter what tyres you're on. Soft, medium, hard, inters, you just couldn't cool the tyre down. And Burmeister's still in the back of Mauners. The battle for P3. Top G has just set the fast up for the Grand Prix, putting pressure on Yarham. So we'll see who it benefits in this Grand Prix. MCFC has retired in the pit lanes. That's his race done and dusted. But we'll see who it benefits. I still think the mediums to hards is the best way to go. But we're about to find out. These guys on the hardcore power tyres elongates their first stint to reduce the stint on the mediums, make sure that they don't suffer with tyre wear towards the end. As we go on board there with MDJ as Burmeister, the other Dutchman in this race. There's 3 Dutchmans of Klusler, MDJ, and it goes a bit deep into turn 11. And Melnus, can he go back around the outside? No, he can't. But might do the switch. Look at that, the switcheroo. What's a lovely exit there. And Melnus puts himself back into 3rd. Great exit there for Melnus. Better drive out of the corner. And reclaims 3rd place. Lord Brad with the fastest lap. That is a Div 1 lock, says Martin. Hazara picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so he's been playing with the track limits too, has the Norwegian. But MDJ could be very careful now because he's out of the DRS range. So, is this the time for Hazara to start pulling away, try and beat the DRS? We know he's very good at gapping people. Even on the same tyre strategy, he's very good at gapping people and building that gap, putting their rivals into uncomfortable territory. I know many times myself where you're the one hunting somebody down, but you make more mistakes because the guy ahead of you is pulling away. Usually the guy in front of you makes mistakes because you're hunting them down. Lord Brad, the Top G, gets past Adams and he puts himself into P6 on a brand new set of hard compound tyres. Yarham dispatched him a lap ago. By the way, it's really nice to see Adams back again, because I know Adams was talking about potentially quitting, but I really hope he sticks with it, because when Adams has the pace, he really does deliver on his day. And MDJ has been gapped by Hazara. The gap is 1 second. The gap's going down because he has the DRS, so looking for him stays in DRS range. You know how difficult it is to keep up with Hazara. I don't know how he managed to do it. But great pace from the Sauber driver, the man who's running no assists, the man that is in the esports team. A very popular esports team is ETA. I've commentated over their drivers so far. I'm good friends with one of his drivers, or one of his mates, Casper Flack. He's also a very quick driver too, so I know quite a few of them in there. Had the pleasure to commentate for the esports teams. We've got an ETA driver in here. That's the equivalent of having a VRT driver. Adams picked up a 3-second penalty, but all those seasons ago where we had VRT and IGK or whatever, they're the equivalent of the esports teams for today. So, the people in the hardcore power tyres pitting. That's early pit stop to go for the undercut. 12 laps of the mediums is doable, of course, but the problem is that the medium power tyres do fade away quite quickly. So, he might see him struggling towards the end of the Grand Prix. Top G should have a massive undercut on MDJ. He does. And look at this down the turn 1. MDJ actually gets ahead. So, despite Top G having 4 laps extra, MDJ gets ahead of him. The undercut did not work. I thought the undercut was powerful around here. I experienced it in a race myself where I got undercuts about other people by staying out there 1 lap later, but not to be so. So MDJ now is in P3. Target in front is on older hardcore powered tyres, should be able to dispatch you quickly. But MDJ knows this out lap is critical because he's fighting with Azara. So whatever he needs to do is get past Johan ASAP and try and undercut Hazara. Make sure to get stuck behind him. Look at this. Already wheel to wheel with him. With the DRS enabled for MDJ. Should be easy. Taking candy from a baby as he puts himself into second place there. And Top G, we're looking to do the same thing as well. Klusler gets a 3-second penalty. He's down into P11. Not the race he's having so far. But surely with a big tyre advantage that MDJ will get the undercut on Hazara. Maybe by 1 lap. I'm so lucky, by the way. My pillow just dropped and almost knocked my drink over, so I am very lucky indeed. Hazara's not pitting though, so he's going for a long stint on the hardcore powered tyres, trying to minimalise the distance on the mediums towards the end. And MDJ then has got to use this time to his advantage to try and bridge that gap under as much as he can before Hazara makes his pit stop to be on the fresh medium compound tyres. Adams pits as well to get off those hard compound tyres as we head on to lap 17. 11 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. It's getting interesting now. Things are spicing up indeed. Adams rejoins. Where will he rejoin? I think he rejoined maybe in front of Mansell. Adams and Mansell, of course, 2 former championship rivals in Division 2. Does Adams rejoin in front of Mansell? I think he will, maybe just. He exits the pit lane and Mansell just gets ahead. But Mansell will be under massive pressure though because Adams is on the bonus medium compound tyres. So watch out for him towards the last stage of this Grand Prix. Look at that, 7th, 8th and 9th are the top 3 in the championship for last season. Mansell, Adams and Burmeister, the Dutchman, and the 2 Englishmen, well, Scotsman and Englishman. In the background, you can see Johan under massive pressure. He was the first one to pit out of this lot because he did struggle in the early stages of this race, not able to control the rear locking or the sliding on the medium compound tyres. I thought to go for a move down the inside, but Lord Brother Top G has the edge on him. Burmeister puts himself into P6 ahead of Monus and Burmeister. Hazara is in the pit lane. MDJ will get the undercut, and we'll see. With 10 laps left to go, Hazara started from P16. If Hazara is full time next season, I'll be very nervous and worried. I don't think Hazara is yet to win a championship in SFR, as MDJ sets the fast up of the Grand Prix. So, where will he rejoin? Back towards the front, there he is, and there's the Williams in front of us, and that's not a big undercut, is it? And Aston Martin of Klusler has spun out of turn 15, but Hazara's rejoining P2, and the gap is 7/10 of a second then, so not the undercut MDJ was hoping for. And 2 laps difference makes a big difference in this game, believe it or not. 2 lap difference, giving you more grip towards the end. So Hazara is definitely in the best place. But, however, we forget to mention that he does have a 3-second penalty. Will MDJ play this tactically, let Hazara go, and try and stay in his DRS range? Maybe that's the only way to win this for MDJ. On pure pace, Hazara is very quick as he goes towards the outside line, the racing line, with the DRS enabled. Nothing MDJ could do to prevent that happening. But MDJ, all he's looking to do is stick in his DRS range Or try and get that gap under 3 seconds. Burmeister puts himself into P5 now ahead of Lord Danny Boy. And here comes -2. Up into P6 he goes. Lord Danny Boy starts the mini cup out tyres, pitted earlier than the rest of them, hence why he's slipping backwards now. Adams is right behind Mad, so here we go then between these two, as the Scotsman puts himself ahead of the Englishman. Oh, he goes off the track though, and here comes Mansell. Will he reclaim that? No, he can't. So, despite going off the track, Mansell wasn't able to capitalise on his mistake. But MDJ almost out of DRS range. Hazara is pulling the trigger already on this lap. And as you can see, the ERS users there, that's MDJ used a lot of battery because he knows it's very crucial to stay within DRS range of Hazara. These two are going side by side. That's, oh, look at that. Barely no space given there for Energy Dan and Klusler there. Klusler's under massive pressure. He's an RB sandwich, a sugar-free Red Bull sandwich. As Mindful Wasp gets himself a 3-second time penalty, Magnus is putting the pressure on Burmeister in front of us. There he is. As Mindful Wasp has retired in the pit lane, so that's the third person to retire in the pit lane. The gap is still under a second. The only way Hazara can win this if he breaks out of DRS range, because once he does that, then we'll see the true pace. MDJ, however, still has the DRS the back of Hazara. MDJ trying to do everything he can to stick within the Sauber's DRS range. It is so difficult, but MDJ taking an excursion off the road. Maybe picks himself up another track limit violation there, but he's not able to keep up with the pace of Hazara. Keith gets a 3-second penalty. Burmeister and Lord Brad have gapped the rest of Div 2 driver Small's promotion. Well, what about Yarman P4 as well? Magnus was a former Div 1 driver himself. I think he is a former Div 1 driver, but obviously now Hazara sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Klusler is ahead of Energy Dan and Keith. Can we talk about the 2025 season? Because we not really spoke about that yet. The 2025 season, 6 new rookies in Formula 1. Liam Lawson, Gabriel Bortoletto, Kimi Antonelli, yes, Isaac Hadjar. I'll try Jack Doohan, and there's one more. I'm trying to remember. Oliver Behrman. 6 new rookies in Formula 1, and I can't wait to see what happens next season because we've got Hamilton and Leclerc at Ferrari, Liam Lawson in the Red Bull, Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes against George Russell. What is next season going to be like? It could be one of the best seasons we've had ever. Is anticipating that way because there was no hype, was there, in the 2024 season? Because 2023 was a Verstappen domination. Verstappen dominated 19 races. And there was no hype going towards 2024. But there's massive hype now. And here comes Magnus on Burmeister, puts himself into P5 ahead of the Dutchman. These two on the same tyre strategy, same age of tyres. So they'll continue to scrap away for P5. I don't think they'll maybe catch Joachim. They've got the better tyres. But will they have the pace to catch up towards Joachim? Although he does have a time penalty, so it makes it a bit easier to catch up towards him. But the gap is over 3 seconds. It's done now. Hazara has breached the gap over 3 seconds. And if there's no safety cars towards the end, he should be able to win this pace. What a fantastic drive again from Hazara. P17 to P1, or P16 to P1. I don't know how this man does it. It makes it look so easy there because he's able to overtake. He's able to plan his overtakes. He's so patient. He's not one of those drivers that dives it every single time there's a chance, like Zenum does, and Martin. I'm only joking, by the way, guys. Don't come at me. But yeah, there's no dive in. There's no rush to get past, despite being stuck in a DRS train. Very methodical, clear-thinking driver. He's like Harry Kane. But if Harry Kane and Hazara go head-to-head next season, that'll be very interesting indeed. We've got some big hitters in Division 1 for next season. We've got Harry Kane, we've got Lays, we've got Noldus, we've got Pocket Valley, we've got Blue Rocket, MDJ, Fireblaze, Jensen, Rising Star, AMS Nico, because AMS is a very quick esports team as well. Do you want to know what they stand for, AMS? Alien Motorsport, as Burmeister puts himself into P5. We've got Noah Dietrich, a name. We've got a lot of people. Bobby Lyons as well. We've got AMS Bobby, who is also a challenger as well. Alien Motorsport Bobby. And we've got the likes of Marco as well. Crossfire Strikes, another heavy contender. Keenan Albarak as well. A lot of these guys are super, super quick. And I really want to see those guys go head-to-head next season. On paper, Harry Kane got 11 wins and 15 podiums, but he didn't dominate those races. He had to work so hard for it, so hard for every single victory. But if Hazara does decide to be a full-time driver, then it's going to be a big Norwegian scrap for first place. Harry Kane and Laserlord are looking to become 3-time world champions in SFR. Both got 2 so far. But if Hazara decides to become a full-time driver, then it's going to really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. This could be an epic Season 17 Championship fight for Div 1, Div 2 and Div 3. And I cannot wait to see what it has in store for us. 2025 Formula 1, I'm looking forward to. SFR, I'm looking forward to as well. And I cannot wait to get the season started. I wish I could go into hibernation and just wait till March the 16th to kickstart the Australian Grand Prix. I hate the winter break so much, it's just no racing action whatsoever. Obviously, there's obvious reason for that one. I'm not going to explain it, of course, because it's too obvious. But the gap is 6 seconds, of course, between MDJ and Hazara. There's nothing left in the tank for MDJ to close back in. Hazara's just got the pace. And now Karsh has overtaken sorry about that. Karsh overtaken Owen Mansell, puts himself into P9. Owen Mansell, by the way, hasn't really been playing F1 that much. He's been on different games, so maybe got a bit of ring rust. And now, look at these 3. They're still scrapping away. Klusler, Energy Dan, and Keith. All 3 of them still having a mighty scrap. But like I talked about for Energy Dan finished in P6 in the championship, 1 point ahead of Keith. And he never picked up a single podium or win. And Keith picked up 2 wins and 3 podiums. But that's the level of consistency Energy Dan had, because when Keith had his struggles, yeah, he won 2 good races. It was China and Bahrain. But he lost his pace just a bit in the middle parts of the season, but gained it back. Sonic Hawk with a fantastic victory. He only had 1 podium for the whole season. That was back in Hungary. Was Sonic Hawk's podium. Remember, Sonic Hawk is in the lobby as well. Joachim spun. And hopefully this is not the return of the old Joachim. Maybe it's just the tyres dying away. So it's not a glimpse from the past. It's not a glimpse from the past. It is a pre-season race, of course. So hopefully he is not like that during the main season, as he lets Lord Danny Boy go through as well. 5 laps left to go in this race. Energy Dan picks himself up a 3-second penalty. Monas and Burmeister are still scrapping away for P4, P5, but they're not really catching Top G. Top G's got some mighty pace in that Red Bull, and still bridging the gap over Burmeister. Bearing in mind, he does have a 3-second penalty, so if the gap gets under 3 seconds, Top G will be in trouble. I do believe he's got a 3-second penalty, not a 6. Yep, that's a 3-second penalty there, as Joachim beats himself up a penalty. And look at the guys at the back of the field scrapping away. Here we are then, as the Aston Martin Klusler is being harassed by both RB drivers. I can't wait to see what Klusler does as Joachim retires. In the pit lane, down the inside goes Keith on the Aston Martin, but can't find a way through, as Danny Boy now gets a 3-second penalty. The gap is 9 seconds. What great pace from Hazara. I don't know how that guy does it. Honestly, the man's on the pad, no assists, and he's driven beautifully. Started in last place as well. Tell you what, I want to go on board with him and see what he does. He's just very good at picking up the throttle at the right time, getting on the brakes without locking them up as well, making sure the back in the car doesn't step out on him every time he exits the corners. Mer says, what did you say? Let me have a look. When will F1 teams reveal new liveries, new rules this year to make them more colourful? I don't know, mate. Unfortunately, I have no idea. Maybe in February. Do you know what? It's been 75 years since the beginning of the F1 season. 1950, the official Formula One World Championship, the official one, and it's been 75 years. And I heard a rumour, or if it's true or not, that all 10 teams will reveal their car at the same time. I don't know if that's true or not, maybe I'm making it up. But somebody definitely said it. But yes, 1950 since the first Formula One World Championship. And Klusler and Energy Dan swap places. Energy Dan has been around since 1950, so he knows the past history of F1 to the back of his mind. Burmeister gets ahead of Melnus. There is 3 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Oh, Burmeister though is getting closer and closer towards top G. The gap is 3.9. If Burmeister somehow can get that gap under 3 seconds, and Mansell has called it a day and retired in the pit lane and left the session. They're dropping out like flies, these drivers, but it is a pace test, of course, so we know what his pace is like. He's going to be a Division 2 driver, I presume. So it benefits me because I get to commentate with him for Division 1 on Wednesdays. But at the same time, I want to see Owen Mansell progress. I want to see that man rise to the top in Division 1. However, Melnus is closing in on Burmeister as he goes or stays behind him, whilst these guys at the back have a mega scrap for P9. Not much to talk about now, as these guys have been spread apart. I've said what I needed to say. You just want to sit back and enjoy the racing action here. The gap is 3.8 though, so I think Top G is maintaining this pace. But the problem for Burmeister is that Melnus keeps on trying to harass him all the time. So Burmeister is losing time because Melnus is all over the back of him as yellow flags appear to retire the car. Oh, MDJ slowed down. Did he make a mistake out of turn 1? I thought that was Mansell's car coming to the pit lane, but MDJ all of a sudden has made a mistake out of turn 1. So, was that a mistake? Because it looked like as Karsh retires in the pit lane, maybe MDJ wants a battle. Very rare to see that mistake happening. He knows he can't catch Hazara. So we've got a battle going on between P2 and P3. The problem is though, well, I say the problem is, it doesn't matter. It's a pre-season race, so there's no problems whatsoever. So the last 3 laps then, entertainment given between MDJ and Top G and Melnus and Burmeister. Melnus gets ahead of Burmeister, puts himself into P4. But those mini compound tyres, they were starting to fade away, so that could explain the factor why MDJ made a mistake, because those mediums though, not looking pretty there for MDJ. MDJ, of course, a former championship rival of mine back in 2019. We used to be big rivals all those years ago, until we sorted out years later, became good friends, and now we are chill together. Thankfully, after all that intense rivalry all those years ago in the Williams, of course, in 2019, gave me a massive headache, and I'm pretty sure I gave him a massive headache too. So here he is at the top of her turn 1, but not going to go for it just yet. He's probably way behind for the next DRS zone. And once again, Energy Dan and Klusler still scrapping away for P8, P9 and P10 there. As Keith gets the power a bit too early and lights up the rear tyres and almost goes for a little bit of a spin. 2 laps left to go in this race. Hazara, what can I say about this driver? The man just always puts on a good show. Fantastic display of driving from the Norwegian driver. Every time he races, he's always shown some fantastic overtakes as well. Very methodical, very clean. A driver that has plans and thinks ahead. A driver like me who don't think ahead and just goes for moves whenever he can see it happening. So it is the final lap of the pre-season race here for Tuesday. Hazara will start his final lap in the lead to the Grand Prix by miles ahead, while second and third continue scrapping away. Thank you for those who have participated in this pre-season race. Been a pleasure. And MDJ is not going to go for the move. Burmeister and Monas have dropped backwards now, so they lost time towards MDJ. Maybe those mini compound tyres are starting to fade away now. They're starting to reach the end of their peak performance. As you can see, that MDJ still putting the pressure on Top G, entering the first sector right behind his tail. Top G, we're looking backwards to see where MDJ is. Of course, MDJ don't have to go for the move, but of course he's a racing driver. He'll go for it. It is the last lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, a bit of a twist there from MDJ, so lose a bit of time. The gap's gone towards 3 to 5 tenths. The DRS is wide open. Plenty of battery left in that Williams to see if he can try and overtake Top G. I think Top G will make it easier for him. Oh, MDJ goes towards the left as he speeds back to the right as he goes down the inside into turn 11. Nice neat move there from MDJ. Burmeister outbreaks himself, double locks up, and MDJ, or Maunus goes through, sorry. Back towards this man, Hezara sees the checkered flag, and he wins the pre-season race here in USA. What a fantastic display of driving again from the Norwegian driver, as MDJ will be the next to cross the line with Top G on his tail. Here he is, the Williams driver entering turn 19, a bit of a snap there too, before going towards the final corner. MDJ will come across the line to finish in second place with Top G in third, Monas and Burmeister finishing in fourth and fifth. But the rest of the guys are Dor Danny Boy, Adams, Energy Dan, Klusler. In fact, we'll watch this trio scrap away. Let's see what happens between these three as we exit or enter now turn number 11. A few people trying to look for a move, but the move's not on because they're too far back. Let me know, guys, what your prediction is for the new F1. What's your prediction for the F1 25 season? Make a bold prediction. I'm going to say Leclerc beats Lewis Hamilton in terms of the Drivers' Championship. I think Leclerc will have that edge over Hamilton because I'm going to say, I'm not saying Hamilton's lost it. It's not washed. Hamilton's still a mega driver, but at the same time, Leclerc's a bit younger, a bit more hungry perhaps, and more experienced in the Ferrari team. Hamilton will give it a good go against Leclerc, but I dare say Leclerc will beat Hamilton overall. Of course, we've all got opinions. They're all going to be different, so I respect your opinion in the chat, unless it's crazy or delusional. I'll give you a bit of time before I end the stream to give the predictions. And there is your race result. A fantastic race from Hezara to finish in first place, ahead of MDJ. My voice is going, as you can tell, so let me just cough. So there are your results then. Hezara wins, and Merley says, I think McLaren will take it 1-2 in the championship. That's a bold prediction, but which driver? Is it Oscar, Piastri or Lando Norris? I think, I don't know, because will Lando learn from his mistakes from last season? Will his mistakes make him a better driver this season? Who knows? But I really hope it's not a dominant team that performs. X fingers for Norris. I see you're a British person, so you go for Norris, of course. British biasness there. Nah, I'm only joking. I don't care. Of course, there's a lot of British biasness on the Sky Sports F1, hence why I go over to F1 TV Pro, because that's a lot in terms of F1 TV. It's a lot better, plus the commentary is much better too. But we know that Sky Sports F1 have a lot of flack because of the biasness and a lot of stupid decisions from the commentators. But anyway, boys, thank you so much for tuning in, giving me some entertainment action, and also commenting in the chat. And let me know what you think of the race. And we'll see you all tomorrow. I will be back to commentate for the pre-season race tomorrow in USA again. And we'll see you all then. Goodbye for now. Have a good night. And I'll see you all later.